What if we told you that one of the smallest militaries in Asia is quietly preparing for a challenge that even global powers are afraid to face? What if we told you that a nation known for tourism, beaches, temples, and smiling hospitality is now becoming one of the most unpredictable military stories of 2025? And the world is not paying attention. Today, you are about to watch a breakdown so shocking, so brutally honest, and so eye-opening that you will never look at Southeast Asia the same way again. Because this is not just a comparison. This is a question of survival, a question of strategy, and a question of whether a country with 70 million people can stand up against a superpower of 1,4 billion. Before we begin, I want you to imagine something. Imagine waking up one morning and hearing global headlines scream, China expands military presence in the South China Sea. Imagine tensions rising. Imagine ASEAN leaders holding emergency meetings. Imagine Thai generals reviewing maps that reveal how close China now is. And imagine ordinary Thai citizens asking the same question millions around the world are asking, if China ever pushed too far, could Thailand defend itself? Most people say, of course not. Thailand is too small. But what if the truth is very different? What if Thailand's defense strategy is not about matching China's power, but about outsmarting it? What if Thailand's real strength has never been in its size but in its unpredictability, its geography, its partnerships, and its evolving military doctrine? And what if the global audience has been underestimating Thailand all this time? Today, I am taking you inside a story that mixes strategy, firepower, military psychology, historical lessons, and the future predictions, not the boring textbook way, but the raw, gripping, cinematic way that exposes the reality behind the headlines. And I promise you one thing. If you watch this to the end, you will walk away with a completely new understanding of Thailand's place in 2025. So take a deep breath, because this is not a video you just watch. This is a video you experience. Let's start with the elephant in the room, China's size. The People's Liberation Army has one of the largest active duty forces on the planet. Bigger navy, bigger air force, bigger budget, bigger everything. China can build destroyers in the time it takes most countries to build patrol boats. It can deploy jets, drones, and missiles across nearly every front. On paper, the comparison looks one-sided. And that's exactly why so many people underestimate the smaller nation. But military power is not only about size. It is about terrain. It is about positioning. It is about alliances. It is about tactics. And it is about the will to defend. Thailand sits in one of the most strategically unpredictable regions in the world. It's not on China's border, which means China would need naval or aerial pathways to exert any real pressure. Thailand is surrounded by forests, mountains, rivers, choke points, and natural barriers that make fast invasion extremely difficult. And more importantly, Thailand is one of the only countries in Southeast Asia that has never been colonized. Why? Because throughout its history, Thailand survived by adapting, negotiating, modernizing, and outsmarting much larger powers. That same mindset still exists in its defense planning today. Now, let's talk about Thailand's military in 2025, the real version, not the outdated version the internet keeps repeating. The Royal Thai Armed Forces have been entering a modernization phase for years, slowly upgrading air defenses, naval platforms, artillery systems, and drone technology. And while critics say Thailand spends too little, what they overlook is that Thailand doesn't fly to match other nations' quantity. Instead, Thailand invests in specific tools that matter for asymmetric defense. For example, Thailand's shift toward advanced drones means it can gather intelligence, monitor its coasts, and track any foreign movements without massively increasing spending. Its investment in modern air defense systems means it can protect key infrastructure without relying solely on fighter jets. And its modernization of special forces, some of the most respected in Southeast Asia, means Thailand has units capable of unconventional warfare that larger armies struggle to counter. Meanwhile, China's biggest weakness in Southeast Asia is not its strength, it is its offensive threat. Maintaining influence across the entire region requires massive logistics, fuel, political leverage, and international risk-taking. And Thailand is not an easy target. Unlike many countries, Thailand is not aligned against China, nor fully dependent on China. It plays a balance, maintaining ties with the US, Japan, and Europe while keeping diplomatic channels open with Beijing. This balancing act means China cannot treat Thailand the way it treats direct maritime competitors. It would jeopardize two main relationships at once. And Thailand knows this. But let's move deeper. Let's examine the hypothetical scenario that people love to talk about. If China ever used hard power, could Thailand defend itself? The answer is more complicated than yes or no more. Because modern conflict isn't always about who wins on the battlefield. It is about who can resist long enough, who can disrupt supply lines, who can make conflict too costly for the opponent. Thailand's advantage is its geography. Any Chinese movement through the South China Sea would need to pass through heavily contested zones. Any attempt at establishing dominance in Thai territory would face jungles, mountains, and urban areas that heavily favor defenders. And Thailand's airspace, protected by newly upgraded radar systems, is far harder to penetrate than most people think. Another key point, Thailand's military doctrine is built around rapid reaction and defensive depth, not large-scale invasion operations. If a stronger nation tried to push in, Thailand's strategy would not be to win outright but to slow, disrupt, exhaust, and force international intervention. And in 2025, with the United States maintaining interests in Southeast Asia, Japan increasing its security role, and the ASEAN pushing for stability, any prolonged Chinese military pressure on Thailand would create global political shockwaves. China's biggest strength, its size, becomes its biggest vulnerability when it risks international economic and political backlash. Now let's address something most analysts ignore: the Thai people themselves. You cannot measure national defense by counting tanks. You measure it by the will of the population. And Thailand has a deep history of unity when threatened. Its culture is built on resilience, adaptation, and national identity. If Thailand ever faced danger, the support from its citizens would be strong. And that matters more than any missile count. But here's the twist: Thailand doesn't need to beat China. It just needs to make conflict too expensive for China to consider. And with Thailand's strong diplomatic network, its strategic location, and its ability to leverage international support, it holds far more defensive power than the numbers suggest. Let's talk technology. People love comparing fighter jets. China has the J-20. Thailand currently flies Gripen fighters, small but incredibly agile and modern. In air combat, technology matters, but so does geography. Thailand's air bases are spread out, protected by mountains and deep inland placement, which makes them difficult to target. Thailand is also exploring next-gen upgrades and strengthening connections with Western suppliers. Meanwhile, its naval forces, though smaller, operate in shallow coastal waters that larger warships struggle to navigate effectively. Another overlooked element is Thailand's growing intelligence cooperation with major powers. Modern warfare starts long before the first shot. Satellites, cybersecurity, radar networks, and drone surveillance shape battles more than ever. And Thailand is quietly building capabilities in all these areas. Now I want you to picture this: a map of Southeast Asia at night. China's influence spreading through ports, trade routes, and military outposts. But then look at Thailand light in the center. Neutral, connected, respected, surrounded by allies. Not a battleground, but a pivot point. This is why Thailand matters. This is why its defense strategy matters. And this is why this comparison Thailand vs China is not about size. It's about relevance. The real question is, if 2025 becomes the year of geopolitical testing, can Thailand hold its ground? And my answer is this: Thailand's strength is not in matching China. Thailand's strength is in denying China easy options, in forcing China to consider diplomatic costs, in forcing China to reconsider military value, in forcing China to see Thailand not as a target but as a risk. This is the power of asymmetry. This is the power of strategic geography. This is the power of alliances. And this is the power of a nation that has survived for centuries by being smarter, faster, and more adaptive than anyone expected. So as we end this deep dive, I want you to think about one thing. The world sees Thailand as peaceful, friendly, and relaxed, but beneath that smile is a country that has never been conquered. A country that has outplayed great powers for generations, and a country that continues to prepare quietly, strategically, and intelligently. And this is where I need you, the viewer, to be part of this journey. If you want more powerful video like this, if you want deeper analysis, more cinematic reviews, and more eye-opening breakdowns, then smash that subscribe button right now. Help this channel grow so we can expose the stories no one else wants to cover. You watching, you subscribing, you supporting, that is what motivates me to create even more powerful content for you. And with that, I leave you with the final question that will echo across Southeast Asia in 2025. Thailand vs China 2025. Can Thailand defend itself?